Live on WFLA Now. This is Run for Fun with running enthusiast Lee Spann.
All right, we hope you had a wonderful Christmas getting ready for the new 2023 year ahead of us. We are back in the WFLA Now Stream Center for this week's episode of Run for Fun with Lee Spann. And as you heard, I am not only the meteorologist here at WFLA, but also a running enthusiast. So this week, we wanted to ease you into 2023 with some manageable running or exercise resolution. So we're going to bring back in Coach. Coach is here, Coach Maria, to talk. You know, a lot of people have a lot of excitement about what to do in the new year. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this. But let's make this a little more manageable.
Yeah, I literally had a dream the other night that I couldn't get a space in the gym and that I was locked out because it was full of people and I couldn't get in. I'm like, oh, here comes 2023. The gym people are coming back.
Yes, we see them out there. We see you out there running. We see you in the gym in January.
Yeah.
Do we see you out there in April? Do we see you in June?
No, it's usually gone by February.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about the small little things that you can do to make running or exercising or a healthy lifestyle fun, so that you can make those manageable resolutions and then live a healthier lifestyle in 2023, because I'm sure we all indulged in some Christmas cookies. And that's
Of course we
fine.
did. That's totally
I
fine.
enjoyed all of my cookies.
Yeah, me too. But I guess what do you have a New Year's resolution, Lee?
So the only one that I was thinking about is years ago, I used to do a lot more yoga classes. Incorporating them once a week into my lifestyle. I have in the past couple of years sort of transitioned more into being full on running, and I can tell the difference that my joints don't move quite as well, and so I want to go back, and maybe I don't want to do the extreme classes that I was doing before, which are wonderful for what they, I enjoy the strength training that came from that, but I just now want to be a little more flexible. So I'm going to, instead of it taking something away or restrict, I'm going to add some flexibility and add some yoga back into my lifestyle.
Okay.
Is that okay, Coach?
Yeah, that's a great,
Okay.
I think it's a great resolution, but I think you need to be more specific.
Okay.
So like, are you going to do one yoga class a week, or are you going to do 2 yoga classes a week? I think that's the one thing about resolutions we need to do, is to be pretty clear about them.
All right. So,
Say it out loud, Lee. Say it out loud.
Well, I was going to say once a week, and then
I think that's great.
But I was even going to be like, what if I did it like once every other week?
I think that's great, because
you think that's going to help with being more flexible even every other week? Because right now, again, it's hard to put everything into your lifestyle. I mean, like I run a lot.
Yes.
I do a lot of, work is a lot. But if I worry even adding in once a week may start to feel like a burden, and I don't want this to be a burden.
And remember, we talked about last week, like, don't let perfect ruin good, because that's the thing. When you say you're going to do something, it has to be manageable, that you can do, and not feel like it's detracting from your life because it's now a burden.
Okay.
So if you feel like you can manageably do every other week, then that's great. And then the other one can be an extra one if you can get it in.
Okay.
I think that's great.
Sold.
Honestly,
Coach tells me it's okay. That's what I'll take it.
My New Year's resolution was to do meditation. And I'm like, immediately my brain was like, I need to meditate every day because I am a head case in my head. So, but I already know that I am not going to meditate every day. That's not going to happen. But there's no reason why I can't meditate 3 times a week. Like for 10 minutes, 3 times a week. That's what I'm going to do. And I want you to hold me accountable. I want you to ask me about it occasionally.
Okay, 3 times a week. So does it matter how long?
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
I need to meditate for 10 minutes, 3 times a week.
And is that just deep breathing?
I'm going to get an app.
Okay. Oh.
I'm going to use an app. So Headspace, Calm, both are really great ones. I cannot do meditation on my own because I will be like, oh, I need to pick up oranges and bananas, and I need to run this pace on Thursday, and it will become a running list of things I need to do in my brain. So
in one of my yoga classes from years ago, they said, it's the monkey that's jumping around in your brain on different topics, but that's okay just don't let that monkey sit on a tree or a branch.
Oh,
Like it's
yeah.
okay if it jumps around, but like it's like if you get to something where you're like bananas, I need to get this, and you
Yeah.
let it sit there, then that takes you away. But it's okay to let that little monkey jump from branch to branch.
Oh, I like
and
that.
then eventually, but just don't let it sit. Don't let it sit on
That's
something.
good. What happens if there's 15 monkeys? Then what do you do?
Yes. Then we have a whole barrel of monkeys. And
Like I
apparently
have
it's
like
fun.
15 monkeys then they're all going around in my
Well,
head.
then
Is that-
then use the app.
Yeah, I think I'm going to need somebody to talk me. I would like somebody like Matthew McConaughey. I like his voice. I know he does the sleep app, but like I got to find somebody's voice that I like too. That will help me.
I'll keep you. I'll hold you accountable to that. If you
Okay, great.
If you and then when you work with my my schedule, if there's a day that I'll say
yeah.
I'm going to do it, so that you know that maybe I don't have
I can put it in your schedule, and then you have to do it, Lee.
I guess whatever's in the schedule from Coach is what I end up doing.
That's right.
I have a friend who we were all running the same race, and I mean, you know who it is, but my husband asked her husband, well, what's she running? And he goes, whatever Coach told her to.
Yeah, that's fine. That's true.
What's Carla's pace? She's running whatever Coach tells her is what,
That's
what
right.
Michael told my husband.
And it's not the same. It's not usually the same.
Yes. So like, whatever Coach tells us to do. So let's talk. We'll talk a little bit about these. You know, we've talked now about our manageable and accountability resolutions going forward. What are some ways that people can manage resolutions? Like, let's give them some ideas. If now it's 2023,
Yeah.
I'm gonna run every day. Well, that's probably not the best.
Yeah, I
resolution.
mean, it needs to be just a little bit more than you're doing now, because that's manageable. A lot of people are like, I'm going to eat clean for the holidays, and I always laugh at that because one of my favorite nutritionists is always like, are you going to wash your food?
Yeah.
Like, what's clean? What does that mean? We all know what that means, but it's kind of not really a thing, the clean thing. But instead of being like, I'm going to eat 8 fruits and vegetables a day, every day for the rest of my life, how about I'm going to have an apple every day? Or I'm going to try to eat less processed foods. It doesn't have to be huge resolutions to change your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Even if you're like, I'm going to run 3 days a week, 20 minutes. That's manageable. It needs to be something that you can absolutely do and conquer and not feel like, oh, I'm a failure. I didn't do it perfectly.
right.
Kind of what we talked about last week.
Yeah. Don't let perfect be the enemy
Yeah,
of good.
we
because
can't be perfect.
We're never going to be.
No.
I mean, even the best of intentions, with all the motivation and all the apps and all that, there's still going to be a day that Maria does not meditate.
Yeah, and it's not only that, like our society kind of glamorizes perfection.
Yeah.
And it's not. I'm here to tell you it's not cool. We don't want to be perfect. Like that's setting yourself up for unreasonable expectations that you can never meet. So let's just be better than we were. How about that?
That's what 2023 is all about. Be better than we were.
And let's move more.
Yes.
Like how about and there's this arbitrary 10,000 steps number. I actually looked it up. It literally is just somebody made up 10,000 steps. Like somebody's like
if it made someone walk
further, it worked.
It worked. Yeah.
Like that's the thing. Make up an arbitrary number for you. Like if I think I walk 2,000 steps a day, so I'm going to start walking 3,000 steps a day. I'm going to get up and walk 5 minutes after every meal. Like just little things that are manageable that you can attain and feel good about yourself instead of biting off more than you can chew, basically.
And
don't say no cookies. Just less
I've never
cookies.
in my life said that. Being a cookie monster is sort of what I'm known for. But yes, I would never, and no one needs to say a complete shutout of something unless you're allergic to it. I mean, if it's, if you like it, it should be incorporated into that new 2023 lifestyle.
And when you take it out, it honestly just leads to binging.
Yeah.
Like how many people do dry January? That's like everybody's like, I'm doing dry January. I'm not drinking at all in January. And then they save up all of their drinks for February. And that like February, I'm going to drink every day.
You're like, maybe if you'd had fewer drinks in January, you would just get used to having fewer drinks in February.
Overall, right? And if you like to drink occasionally, like moderation. Like the goal is always moderation. I know it's not glamorous to be moderate, but We need to be better about being moderate.
Yes, because as we have talked about, January everyone is at 100. February into March, everyone is down at a 0. So
Yes.
what if you were only at a 50% or 60% and then you got to stay there? And one of the ways that for runners, especially, developing runners and beginning runners, that's how I did it, was I signed up for a race.
Yeah.
And that keeps that carrot out in front of you, that if you if you fell off
Yeah.
and you didn't go exercise for a week, that race is still out there. So it forces you to kind of get that motivation going. So if that's what it takes, it's what it took for me to get consistent, because I could talk myself out of it in a second.
And you can't cram for a race. There's
Nope.
no way. Like,
You'll just hurt yourself.
you're just going to hurt yourself. So yeah, if you put a number out there, and it doesn't have to be you don't have to be a half a marathon.
No,
You could
I'm
do
talking
5K, you could do a 10K. Just give yourself a good amount of time to do it. Probably 12 weeks. 12 weeks.
So that's what we're going to do for you guys. We're going to have our 5 a.m. producer. Coach hasn't met him yet.
I'm
His
so
name is
excited.
Nick, and he wakes up and is at work at midnight every night. So he is somebody who doesn't have a normal schedule, and he has agreed would be the right word, although somewhat reluctantly, only because he was a little trepidatious about it, to let us train him to run a 5K starting in the new year.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Once a week, each episode, we will check in with Nick.
Yeah.
Nick is a former athlete, in high school. Now he's in his 20s, and he was just telling me, okay, it's time. I got to get back in the gym. And so he told me that he would do this. But when he said yes, he thought I just meant you're going to get out there and run a 5K.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, no, sir. This is a weeks long process because we want it to be a manageable. Anybody could go out and, push themselves through and hurt themselves and do that. But we want you to teach Nick, and then you guys along with him, how to properly develop this lifestyle, develop this consistency. And if it takes having a 5K out in 12 weeks, then you do those little steps along the way, and that 5K then becomes very, very manageable. That was Pickles.
Pickles is saying hi. And we can give you a workout.
Yeah.
We're going to start a Strava group. So you guys can all follow us on Strava, which is a little app, and we'll show you more about it next week. But we'll have our own little group that's virtual, and you can follow along and do the workouts. I'll show you how to do them.
So what that means is, when you go out for your run or your walk or even your bike ride, we'll any sort of consistent exerciser we're going to take onto our Strava. I think Strava does bike.
Yes.
Okay.
You can do bike.
And so it is an app that's free. You download it onto your phone, and you can join our group, our Run for Fun group, because we're a fun group. And then you can see what Sally is doing, and you can see what Joe is doing, and you can see what Nick is doing. You can see what Lee is doing and what Maria is doing.
You can follow us all.
Yeah. And then
That'll be fun.
So and that way we can say, like, hey, this month, why don't we all at some point go out and run in Flatwoods Park or some place, and then we can say, oh, I see now that Kelly went out there on this day. And so we want to be, we talked about this last week, developing those connections. And even if it has to be virtual, if you know that there's somebody on that app that's watching you, you might be a little more motivated to get out there and to be held accountable.
Yeah, I love it. I'm so excited.
So manageable goals. We're going to send you off into 2023 with training along with Nick. We're going
and some accountability.
We're going to be part of our Strava group. All of you keep me honest. Ask if I'm being more flexible. Ask if I'm doing my yoga at least twice a month. That's not even a huge thing. It's once every other week.
Yeah.
2 times a month.
And believe in yourself.
Yeah.
I'm wearing my shirt for that.
Believe.
See, it says believe. Because I did see somebody one day that said, if you can believe in Santa Claus for 10 years, you can believe in yourself for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? So let's believe in ourselves enough to actually follow through.
And that's what, we don't want people to have the spike in January.
No.
And then, okay, now they've missed a day or two. Now they've had they haven't eaten what they were planning on eating. And then they say, okay, my resolution is over. We don't want to have resolutions. We want to have a lifestyle. We want to have
Lifestyle change.
consistency and
Yes.
habits that create who we are going forward. So it's going to be new. We're going to be new people in 2023. We're going to find the fun in running, which I know when you just start, you're thinking there's no way that this can be fun. But when you do it right, you can go back and listen to some of our earlier episodes. It's just like how to
Give it 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks.
go out there, go slow enough. That's actually, I gave Nick this suggestion because he told me today that he was going to go out and run. I said, well, do it right. And he goes, well, what does that mean? I said, go slow enough that you can sing the ABCs out loud.
Oh, I wish I was there to watch.
Serenade your neighbors. So it's just making those little changes, being excited to go out and run, being excited to exercise, being excited to create that new lifestyle. So, Coach, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Lee.
So
I'm excited about this. We're going to have a ball.
We are going to have a ball. We look forward to everyone joining on to our Strava group, our virtual community. And we look forward to checking in with Nick.
I can't wait to meet you, Nick. I'm so excited.
And we can't wait to help everyone train and get out there. So thank you, guys. We look forward to a brand new us in 2023. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.